Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This one's kind of a special video today. We're not going to really go over just one particular headline today. We're going to kind of summarize the month of January with some of the headlines that we need to look at again. And if you're new here, my name is Amy, and I do teach Gematria. It's a ancient practice of coding letters into numbers. And I've got it pulled up here on Wikipedia just to read the definition for you. Gematria is the practice of assigning a numerical value to a name, word, or phrase according to the alphanumeric cipher. One word can yield many values depending on the cipher which is used. Okay, and we'll just continue reading here. Ciphers were probably used in biblical times and were later adopted by other cultures. Gematria is still widely used in the Jewish culture. Do you see this? Gematria is still widely used in the Jewish culture. Okay. Now, if you look into your politics and your elite class, okay, go research the religion of the majority of those people. It's either going to start with a C or it's going to start with a J or both, because they all come from the Pope and that religion. And think about the Bible, where the Bible tells you that in Revelations that there would be the synagogue of Satan would come forth, and that they would say that they are of the Jew faith, but are not. They are liars. They are of the synagogue of Satan, right? But we can't say certain words on here because, we're in America where free speech exists and you get banned if you talk it, right? So, moving forward, let's go on before I get on a tangent. So, this post here, we're going to start talking about our January headlines and how the month played out with the patterns that we've been taught by Zach from Gematria Effect News, right? We know these number patterns exist. We know that there's certain numbers that we see all the time when it comes to politics. There's other numbers that we see all the time when it comes to shooting rituals or gun control. There's a certain pattern of numbers that you see when you see deaths, right? And if you're not new here, you already know that. That's just, we already know. But if you are new here, I promise you're going to see several numbers in this post, but you're going to see them repetitive. Okay. So don't get freaked out if I say, 5 or 10 numbers here at the beginning, because we're still going to talk about those same 5 or 10 numbers all the way through the end. It's not going to be many, I promise. Okay. So we're just going to start going backwards through the month. Okay. So I haven't got any in here for today. There was a Peeps guy that died, Bob Peeps. He's the one that created the little marshmallow yucky things that you eat at Easter, right? And I didn't put his in here, so we're just going to kind of start with January 30th and go backwards. So yesterday we got a headline of the Cleveland drummer baseball fixture John Adams dies at 71. Now, the John Adams guy, I don't have it in here, but this was a headline. He was like he's bought a drum at a garage sale and apparently started going to the Cleveland games all the time and beating this drum, and he did this for so many, many, many years, right? And he became one of them, right? So the article made sure to mention that he died on January 30th and that he began beating his drum on August 24th. So August 24th, if you write the date the way that everybody else writes it except America, you would write the day, then the month, then the year. So it would be 24/8/23, right? So 248. And he died on 130. So if you look at the human sacrifice, he began beating his drum on August 24th, and then he was sacrificed off on January 30th. And it was in the headlines yesterday. Also on January 30th, we got the headline of the avalanche. This pro skier guy, age 31, dead in an avalanche. An avalanche equals 31. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how we're getting these numbers, okay, let me show you that real quick. So, let me show you the patterns, right? So, the first one is going to be A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3 to Z equals 26. Then you're going to have your reduction, which is basically taking that same pattern, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, but making it a single digit. So when you get to the 10th letter, you're going to add 1 plus 0 is 1. The 11th letter is 1 plus 1, 12th, 1 plus 2, you get it, right? And then the other two, you're just going to reduce it and do the same thing. So Z is 1, A is 26, and then you're going to reduce it right there. So A being the 26th letter in the reverse order would be 8 because 2 plus 6 is 8. Easy peasy, guy, right? All right. So when I say certain things like this equals this or this equals that, then you'll know, that's what I'm speaking of. And I didn't mean to click off of this post, so I apologize, guys. I'm going to click back in here real quick here. My bad. All right, we're getting there, guys. Okay, here we go. All right. So we talked about the 31, the age 31 guy. We talked about the guy beating his drum. Beating his drum. He started on August 24th and died on January 30th. This dude's dead at 31 in an avalanche. Yesterday, the big sacrifice that was in the headlines was Shirley from Laverne and Shirley. And this one's a little twisted because she played Shirley Feeney on Laverne and Shirley, and if you'll notice, her name equals 75, and she's dead at the age of 75. Her name also equals 156 using the A equals 1, B equals 2. She actually died 156 days after her birthday at the age of 75. So she died 156 days after her 75th birthday, and her name equals 156 and 75. Now, if you'll notice, she died on January 25th, but they held the headlines, right? And I'll tell you why they held the headlines. So they announced it on January 30th, which is that blood sacrifice number, right? Right here. So we knew January 30th would be a day that we would see a bunch of deaths, celebrity deaths, because January 30th. So they held her headline till January 30th. And the reason they did that is because it's 205 days from her birthday, and Laverne and Shirley equals 205. So that's why they held the headlines, right? So Shirley died 156 days after her 75th birthday, and then it was announced in the headlines 205 days before her next birthday. So we're going to watch, just, I promise, guys, stick with me if you're new here. So on yesterday also, or on the 30th, we got the Adams, the Wednesday Adams girl. She's dead, right? She's dead at 64. And there's her name, Lisa Loring, 64, dead at age 64. January 30th, that blood sacrifice date, right? Or human sacrifice date. Zachary Levi was in the headline because his dad died. And if you'll notice, his name equals the 130, just like the day he appeared in the headlines. His post was saying that he was mourning the death of his Papa D. And if you'll see Papa D's 38, 97, 20, 25, so is death. 38, 97, 20, and 25. They have matching gematria in all four base ciphers. And it happened to come out on January 30th. On January 29th, we got the headline of the Motown singer and Temptations songwriter. So Barrett Strong died at the age of 81. It was announced on that human sacrifice date, right? January 30th. But now get this, right? He actually died on January 29th. And he signed with Tamala Records. So he signed with Tamala Records and he's dead on January 29th. and it's 62 days. He signed all the articles kept talking about he was the first one on Berry Gordy's label to basically make a number one hit for Motown back in the day. And he was sacrificed 62 days after Berry Gordy's his handler his birthday. So he died 62 days after his birthday on January 29th, and that's the record label that he signed to. He sold his soul. And then he died on January 29th. So on January 29th, we also got the headline of Ricky Smiley's son being dead. And Ricky Smiley is a comedian. And if you'll notice, it says he is the host of the nationally syndicated Ricky Smiley morning show based in Atlanta. So if you'll notice, his morning show title is 129, and his son is dead on 129. Just like this guy signed with Tamala Records, and he died on 129. Now this guy's got a radio show 129, and his son's dead. You know, God sacrificed Jesus, his son, right? They're mocking us. This is what they're doing. So we also got the headline on the 29th of the Star Trek Enterprise actress. And this one's going to be real familiar with what we just seen with the other ones, right? So she's dead at the age of 45. Now she's dead 241 days before the release anniversary. And that's what she's famous for. So she was in the Star Trek Enterprise, and now she's dead 241 days before that anniversary release. She also died 59 days from her birthday, and Star Trek alone is 59. But this is the actual one that she's, because they have many different, series and episodes, and they're all named something different. So she was actually got her start on Star Trek Enterprise and then died for 241 days from the anniversary release, or before the anniversary release. Anniversary, yeah. And 59 days from her birthday. Now, January 28th and 29th, so we got a few more headlines of deaths, of course. So we're going to kind of start going backwards here. So we got the death of Tom Verlaine, and he died at the age of 73 and 46 days after his birthday. Okay, so you see this, the one-eyed symbolism. He's dead at the age of 73, 46 days from his birthday. Sacrifice equals 73 and 46. Sacrificed at the age of 73 and 46 days from his birth. We also got the headline of David Albright. So here's David Albright. He got famous for he was a football player, right? So he died at the age of 63, and he also died 63 days after the big game that made him famous, right? So he had a great year one year, and he did this special play, and that's what made him famous, that play that they talk about, or that game. And so he died at the age of 63 and 63 days from that game, and his name equals 63. So he's dead 63 days after the anniversary of the win of the Grey Cup. That's what it was called, the Grey Cup. So his name equals 63. He's dead at age 63, and it's 63 days away from that Grey Cup victory anniversary. So on January 26th, we got the headline that they had arrested the cops in Memphis, Tennessee that killed Tyree Nichols, which is a big sob all in itself. I've got a video up about that one if you want to watch it later. Um, but January 26th, you can see why they put that in the headlines, right? Because he was actually pulled over on the 7th of January, and then he died on the 10th, 3 days later, like Jesus was resurrected, but he died 3 days later. And then they charged the cops on the 26th. And this is why we got the headlines that day out of Memphis, Tennessee. So on January 26th, we got the Mark Packer. He announced the death of his father, and they're radio hosts for ESPN and the ACC network. His dad was, and now he is, because this is a big club, guys. Like George Garland said back in that comedy skit, it's a big club and you ain't in it. And these guys are in it. So on January 26th, Mark announces the death of his father. And if you'll notice, Mark Parker is 112. The Brotherhood of Death is 112. His dad's name is 112. So, I mean, you can tell that this was a sacrifice because it's 43 days from Mark's birthday. So his dad dies 43 days from his birthday, and that's a number that we see a lot with the Masonic killings. Masonic Luciferin killing is all 43. So I wanted to put that one in the post too, just because it's a pattern that we do see a lot. Moving forward. So on January 25th, we got the death of Marjorie. And she was the stand-in for Debbie Reynolds. Okay, so she was Debbie Reynolds when y'all thought it was Debbie Reynolds on the TV. It was actually this girl because she was like her stunt double, but her dance double, right? So she died 67 days from Debbie's birthday. So she played Debbie. She died 67 days from Debbie's birthday. And you can see why. So she played Debbie Reynolds. She was her dance actor or actress or stand in, whatever you want to call it, stunt double. And she died 67 days away from that woman's birthday. Now, on the 26th of January, we also got the death of Jesse from the Detroit Lions. And notice death is 25. He's dead at the age of 25. We see a lot of athletes die at the age of 25, and that's the reason why is because death equals 25. Now, he died 223 days after being placed back on the active roster. Now, if you're new here, we knew going into this year that it was going to be a big death year because Yale has secret societies, and one of them's known as Skull and Bones, which is where your majority of your presidents and things like that, they're a part of that. It's a secret society that you have to be asked to be in, and they only take so many a year. It's a sick thing, right? They are known as Order 322. They are also known as the Brotherhood of Death. Yale is turning 322 years old this year. So mark my words right now, on October 7th, which is 107, that's their birthday, and it also is a sacrifice number. We are going to see massive deaths on October 7th this year because that's the day that Skull and Bones turns 322 years old. Now, if you write out the synagogue of Satan, like Revelation says that they will come to you and say that they're of one thing, but they're not, they're liars, they are of the synagogue of Satan. That's in Revelations. So if you write out the synagogue of Satan, it equals 223, and skull and crossbones, which is their emblem, is 223. And we are in the year 2023. In numerology, the zeros don't count, so you drop them because they hold no value. So 2023 would be 223 because the zero would hold no value. So that's why we knew going into this year that we were going to see a massive amount of deaths, and we have with these patterns. So this guy's dead 223 days from that being placed on that active roster, November 7th. So he was placed on the active roster, and then um, he's dead. Like they just kill him off. Like it's sick ass shit, y'all. So we also got the death of the 20 on January 26th, and this was the death of the Sopranos actor's daughter. And that's another one of those deaths that we were just talking about with the 25, right? So on January 26th, they announced the death of the Sopranos actor daughter 173 days before his birthday. So he played Artie Bucco in The Sopranos. And now his daughter's dead 173 days before his birthday. And he played Artie Bucco, right? So it's the same pattern we just seen. So Artie Bucco, his daughter dies 173 days after his birthday. See? Same patterns over and over, guys. So on January 25th, we got the death of Lloyd from Sesame Street. He's dead 83 days after his birthday at the age of 83. Or not at the age of 83, I'm sorry. I don't know how old he was. I didn't put it in there. So I can't remember how old that guy was. Like I told you, every one of these have like a bigger post that goes along with it. I just kind of throwed the highlight in there so that I could do this post at the end of the month. So this guy is dead 83 days from his birthday. And murder's 83. That's those murder numbers that I was talking about. And his name equals 83 as well. So we got Lloyd at 83, dead 83 days from his birthday, like murder's 83. He came from Sesame Street. And he died 74 days from the anniversary of Sesame Street coming out, which is another, remember I was telling you about those. It's a number that we see a lot with the occult killings. So occult killing of Lucifer all equals 74, and he's dead 74 days from when Sesame Street came out. So on January 24th, we got the University of Wisconsin in the headlines because they banned TikTok, right? That was the big headline for the day, that if you were on the computers at the school, then you weren't going to be able to use TikTok anymore. And you can see why, using Gematria, why this headline was placed on January 24th. So University of Wisconsin, January 24th, right? It's the same patterns over and over, guys, I promise. Day in, day out. So, January 24th, we also got this headline: 7 killed in Half Moon Bay as California is shocked by 3 shootings in 44 hours. Shooting equals 44. That's why they said 3 shootings in 44 hours. Why wouldn't it have been 45 hours? Why wouldn't it have been 43 hours? Like they do this all the time, every day. So, January 23rd, this is your headline news, right? January 23rd, which is 1/23. We've got this guy in the headline, Simon Dunn, and he's dead. So this guy's dead on January 23rd, Simon Dunn. He was he was known for playing in McHale's Navy, which is an older, like movie sitcom thing. So they announced his death on January 23rd. So we got the Simon Dunn guy that died on January 23rd, and then we've got the guy that was in McHale's Navy dead on 123. So these are your 2 death headlines that day. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name, right? So we've got this guy, Simon Dunn, dead on January 23rd, and then we got the McHale's Navy actor dead on January 23rd. Now, on January 21st, it might take us a few days or a few minutes to go over this one. So I'd put out a post saying tomorrow's a sacrifice number, so we're going to see some sacrifices in the headlines. Pretty much anybody in the Gematria community had placed, that foretelling, basically saying, hey, be aware, this is a sacrifice date, so, pay attention. And that's the day that the Luna shooting happened in California. And this is the guy that did the shooting. Who can tran? Now think about your headlines right now, guys. All we're hearing about is this transgender movement, right? And the rights and liberties that they need and all of that, right? Who can tran? Think about that name. It's just mockery, guys. And he happens to. So we got like Zach says, we got Asian papaws now shooting at people named Who Can Tran on January 21st. And you can see with A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, why they use this man's name. And this is probably not even a real person. Like, these are government psych op operations, and they're done by a code. And I'm teaching you the code of Gematria, how they do it. So this is the guy that shot up the Luna Festival, your spokesman for the Luna Festival. So they came on the headlines. They had a little police officer there, and he was giving you the rundown of what happened, right? So we're at the Lunar Festival with Policeman Luna talking about who can Tran shooting up the place on January 21st. So we got a Luna police officer, a lunar eclipse, lunar or not a lunar eclipse, a lunar festival being shot up for the Lunar New Year, and we got who can Tran on January 21st shooting the place up. Like it's every day. This was the headline that day too. It was just like one of the main things that popped up there as soon as I pulled up the web page, and it was like this guy died January 21st, 1556, the death of this guy. And look what his name equals. 21/1, just like the day he died, right? So this has been going on for many, many years, guys. Many, many years. So January 20th, okay, that's going to be a whole big post on itself because we know that 201 is a big number with the Order of the Illuminati and the Jesuit Order. And that's the day that we get the inauguration of the president. So many sock ops happen according to this 201. Right now, we're living under the first pope. His name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Guess what it equals? 201. He is the only pope that has ever not lived at the Vatican in that particular place. He chose to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. You can look it up, it's true. So 201 is a big number when it comes to these sock ops and things that we do. So 201 is the day that we got the headline that Joe Biden had classified documents, right? So we got the classified document headline. We also got the headline that the DJ was dead. Now get this. January 20th is also National DJ Day. And we get the death of the DJ 201 days before his birthday on January 20th. So the DJ's dead on DJ Day 201 days from his birthday. And look at DJ and kill. DJ Day and kill. 44/17/28. So we got a dead DJ killed on DJ Day 201 days from his birthday on 20/1 January 20th. Right after they put out the headlines about the classified documents. It's mockery every day in your face, guys. Every day. And look, that's the guy's name right here, Jerry. His name equaled 44. He died. He was killed on DJ Day. And the date numerology was a 44. You know how they get the saying, your numbers up? Have you ever wondered in your mind where they got that saying from? Your numbers up? When you learn Gematria, it puts a whole nother spin on it. All right, so we're going to go back to January 19th. It might get a little crazy from here because I know that, like I said, I've been trying to keep up with it all month and do decodes. So I've just kind of been plopping these things in this post, saving it for today. So on January 19th, we got Alec Baldwin was charged with murder. So he gets charged with murder 74 days before his birthday, and his birthday is April 3rd, so 4/3. We just talked about the 74 and the 43 a few minutes ago, but we're going to go back into it, right? So we're 74 days away from Alec Baldwin's birthday, and there's those numbers again, right? Killing Lucifer Masonica, 74, 74, 74. His birthday is 4/3. So 74 days before April 3rd, we're going to get that headline. See? That he's been charged with the murder over that Russ scene. Like, I don't know why that's in there because there's supposed to be another one. Let's see. Oh, this guy. Okay. So I didn't put a break right there. I apologize. So moving forward out of Alec Baldwin. So January 19th, we got the headline for the Charlotte Football Club, and they had lost a member of their team. So if you look at Charlotte Football Club, it equals 119. This guy's dead at the age of 25, and we just talked about that. All right. So on January 19th and 18th, let's see, we got an Atlanta protest breaks out over the death of Tortiqui. I don't even know how to say that, guys. I'm not going to try. I remember this one though. This was the one. This is how the protest started in Atlanta before the Tyree Nichols. There was the non-binary individual, the transgender, who can trans individual, and their name is this: Tortuguita or Quita, right? I don't know. That's just ridiculous of a name. But this happened on January 18th, and you can see why this person was placed into the headline on January 18th. Now, we also got the headline of the Prime Minister of New Zealand that she was going to step down in her last day. So she said she's going to resign. Look, resigns as Prime Minister no later than February 7th. Resign equals 2/7, like February 7th. Now, January 18th was a big day for the 118, okay? So on January 18th, we got George Santos was a drag queen. There's his drag queen's name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Katara, whatever. Ravachi, I don't know. So that drag queen name equals 118, just like the date that it came in the headline. We also got the headline about the layoffs at Microsoft, right? So Microsoft to lay off 10,000 people. Look, Microsoft equals 118. We also got the headline about the oldest person dying that day. So on 118, we got the person dead at age 118. See? All this is January 18th. Like, all right, back up to the 17th. So we got Michael Leary. I don't know how you say that one either. He's dead on January 17th. You can see why he's dead on January 17th. His name equals 117. He's a comedian. He's dead at the age of 44 on January 17th. These same patterns over and over, guys. So we also got the news of the American Heart Association president's dead at age 65 on January 17th. There's his name. Ralph Lewis equals 65, just like the age he died. So he's dead at the age of 65. And his death comes 223 days before his birthday, just like the other one we seen a few minutes ago. So now we've got this guy dead 223 days before his birthday at the age of 65. On January 16th, we got Hector Ramirez, cameraman with 20 primetime wins with 20 primetime Emmys, dies at age 78. So he was the cameraman. If you'll notice, it says he handled a steady cam for the first 21 seasons of Dancing with the Stars. So Hector is dead at the age of 78, and his name equals 78. January 16th, we got the headline that this Stan guy's dead from The Wire. He's dead on January 16th at the age of 83. We just seen the 83 because murder's 83. And now we've got Stan Valchek dead on January 16th. Al Brown, best known as Stan Valchek in The Wire, dead at 83. And that was on January 16th. See, there's the headline, January 16th. January 15th, we got the death. We knew this one was going to be a big day too because there's those numbers, right? Remember, we seen them a few minutes ago and they equaled 74 going forward. Well, going backward, they equal 115. So Z would be 1, A would be 26, Lucifer, Masonic, and Killing would all equal 115. Well, I actually have a video up where we had 4 football players in 1 week die 115 days from the day they drafted, all in the same week. And we may get into them here in a minute. I can't remember if I put them in this post or not. If not, I've got a video that you can check out. So I put this in the headline and I said, what will the headline be for tomorrow? And it was the 14th when I posted it. And I said, we're going to have some killings, right? So we ended up getting the death of this guy. So we got a Georgia player and a staffer dead in a car crash hours after the parade after they won the championship. And this is what irks me is like people don't want to take the time to learn this knowledge. And if you actually knew what was happening out there, would you be going to these ball games? Would you be going to the movies? Would you be dying to go to that concert if you knew that they were doing these sacrifices to these people? Like, when they tell you that you sign your soul over for fame and fortune, they're not lying, y'all. They're not lying. So we got this guy dead on January 15th, which we knew there was a killing coming, and sure enough, it was the Georgia Bulldogs ritual sacrifice. See that 107? That's what I was talking about, that 107 a few minutes ago. So they won the national championship, and then they had to sacrifice off this guy because championship is 68-58. Devin Wilcock is 58 and 68. So he was the perfect one to your fame and your fortune. We also got the death that day of Gino, which is an NHL player. He's dead at the age of 52. And if you look, Gino, his name equals 52. January 14th, we got the, let's see. Oh, we got this guy dead. Let's see. So, David C. Onley, he died on January 14th, and he is the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. So, this is his name, how they put it in the headline 114. And then we got the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario at 141. We also had the Miss Universe pageant, and I don't know why I didn't put this in here because I've got the note for it, but apparently I didn't do a screenshot for it. So we also had the Miss Universe pageant that day, and USA won finally, because all that shit is rigged and scripted. Like I promise, like it's all rigged and scripted. Like I told you, I've been trying to keep up with this post like all year or all month, just so that I could actually do this and show you guys these patterns. Like it's not a coincidence when it happens every day. So this guy's dead on January 14th. If you write the date the other way, 14/1, he was the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, and he's dead on January 14th. See, January 14th, David C. Onley. So we got Evil Knievel's son who died on January 13th. So here's his full name, and he died on the 13th of January. And we got the guy with the bionic hand who died on January 12th at the age of 67. So they called him the bionic hand, and he died at 67. So just like the Laverne and Shirley one from yesterday. So the bionic hand, 112, he died on 112. It also equals 67, and he's dead at the age of 67. Also on the 12th, we got the death from the Bachman Turner Band. And Bachman Turner Overdrive is 112. That's the name of the band. January 11th, we got the headline for the star of 16 Candles was dead. She died 114 days after the film's release anniversary, or from that film release anniversary. She played the big star in that, the Samantha Baker. And let's look at her death, right? So she's dead at the age of 98. Her name is Carol Cook. 98, dead at the age of 98. She played Samantha Baker in the show, and she's dead 114 days from the anniversary of that release. So Samantha Baker, 114, dead 114-day span from that anniversary release. We also got the death of Passions actor Ben Masters. He died on January 12th as well. And if you'll notice, Passions equals 112. It was 116 days from his birthday, and Ben Masters equals 116. So he died on January 12th. He played in Passions. He died 116 days from his birthday, and Ben Masters equals 116. January 10th, we got the death of the cardinal priest. He died at age 81 and 81 days from becoming a priest. And you'll notice rituals 81 forward and backwards. Mark of the Beast is 81. He died 81 days 81 days from the anniversary of selling his soul to the Catholic Church, and then at the age of 81. And if you'll notice, he's got those 3-2-2-2-2-3 patterns that we spoke about earlier. So Cardinal George Pale is 3-2-2, Skull and Crossbones 2-2-3, Synagogue of Satan 2-2-3. So got those same patterns. On January 10th, we got the death of Jeff Beck, and he got his fame from the song Roger the Engineer, and then he died on the 10th of January. So if you write 10/1, that's the 10th of January, the day he died, and Roger the Engineer is 10/1, and that's what he got famous for. On January 9th, we got the death of Diamond from Diamond and Silk, and she got famous for her speaking out about the election and Donald Trump. She's dead 666 days before the next election. We all know about the 666. I don't need to explain that to you. Now, on January 5th, we got the actor from Terminator that died, and he died 72 days from the release anniversary. So, 72 days away from the day that the Terminator come out. He's dead at age 72, and his name equals 72. January 5th, we got the headline of the Connecticut State Representative Quentin Williams, and I'm just like they put it in the headline, right? Rep Quentin Williams. And if you write that out, it equals 105, just like he died January 5th. We also got the headline on January 5th of Gordy Harmon, who was dead at the age of 79. He got famous in 79 for a song called And the Beat Goes On. And the Beat Goes On equals 79. He's dead at age 79. He got famous in 79. On December 31st, we got the headline of Barbara Walters being dead, and we always get a big celebrity death sacrifice on New Year's Eve, right? It's like they have to start out the year with this crap or whatever. And Barbara Walters was famous for The View. So she died 141 days from The View's anniversary, and her name, Barbara Walters, equals 141. So, and it released on August 11th, and she's died, 141 days from that anniversary. Guys, these are not coincidences when you can see it in the headlines every day if you just take the time to learn the language that they use to control us. But guys, like and share. I hope this helps to kind of show you those patterns and what they're actually doing. Honestly, guys, that's just a few of the headlines from January that I tried to keep up with through the month to be able to do this post. But if you'll go to my blog, it's cracktheircode.org. And then, well, you're on my YouTube page, so you obviously found that. But do make sure that you like and subscribe because the algorithms do keep us suppressed. I appreciate any and all support, guys, and I hope you have a great evening.